Hello, everybody, and welcome or welcome back to the second shelf. And the end of the year is near, and that rhymes. It's the 28th. I know I had to look at the calendar. So there's still today and a couple of more days. But I thought I want to do the regular Wednesday video. So I'm going to do my recap 2022 a little bit early. I have still a couple of books on the go, but the overall picture of my reading is not going to change fundamentally in the next 4 days. So including today, 4 days. So I thought, anyway, I'm going to look back at how I did with my plans, how much I read, the statistics. I'm not going to do a pie chart. I'm not good at pie chart thingies. I love them when other people do it, but I'm just not good at making them. So anyway, let's look at the projects that I had first. So let me see here. I did, if you remember, if you have been following me for a while, I did an author spotlight, Louise Erdrich, a couple of years back. Took 2 years to read all of her novels. And I thought I liked that project. So in 2022, I did another author spotlight, Susan Sontag. Didn't work. I read, I think in January something, in February something, and it just didn't work for some reason. I love Susan Sontag. I have already read quite a substantial amount, and I wanted to reread, but I especially also wanted to read the novels that I haven't read yet. And for some reason, it just didn't work. So I abandoned that project, I think in March or something. Yeah. That's how it goes sometimes. The other project that was new, so not the other project that was new, but another project that was new this year was the 1001 books by women I need to read before I die. You know that, inspired by Sandy, who is following the books. You can buy books, 1001 books you have to read before you die. I made my own list because I wanted to have it exclusively books by women, because most of these other official books have maybe 20% women, very little translated fiction, very much Western focused. So I made my own list. That's just how it works with me. And I did very well. I had the goal of having 560 unread books on my Goodreads shelf left when we start 2023, and I achieved that. So that works really well. There is a lot to choose now still from the 560 books. It might get a little more dicey once I'm into the single digits left, but we'll see how that goes. For now, it really works well. I feel that I have enough books to choose from so that I don't feel like constricted, if you know what I mean. So that project, I'm really pleased with it. I like it, and I will certainly continue. The other thing that I did, I have to look this up here, is the BooktubePrize. I judged all rounds in the BooktubePrize, starting with the octafinals, quarterfinals, half finals. I switched between, I think once I judged translated fiction, but the most I did was fiction. And that was also nice. The year before I switched more, but this was nice to see the development in one category. Next year, we will have 2 categories because there are not enough judges to do another year with 3 categories. That's just how it goes. We will have fiction and nonfiction. And I haven't decided yet whether I want to focus on one of those 2 or whether I want to switch. But I really like this price and the way it works, that you have, 6 books to read and then to rank in every round. So yeah, that worked really well, and I could get the books, so there was no problem in acquiring them or getting them on script, or so that worked well, and I'm really pleased. Pleased in the sense that I achieved that. I am not on a winning streak. If I had to bet on the winners, I mean, you have to have the top three always go to the next round. And if there's one from my top three going into the next round, then that's good. I also had rounds where none of my three were in the top three to go further, and I never predict the winner. So when the winners are announced, I'm happy if the winner was in my top three. So, but still, that's part of the fun. I mean, Anyway, on to more projects that I did. Yes, as you know, I'm not good with readathons, so the only two that I always really participate in, even though I do Cloak and Dagger Christmas a little bit, I read crime, but I'm not too much focusing on the prompts. But the ones that I try to follow and also follow the prompts is Victober and NonFiction November. I love these two readathons. Again, nonfiction, I love reading nonfiction, so that's not that difficult for me. There's a lot to choose. And the same with Victober. I tried a couple of other readathons that I really like, and I like watching people's videos about it, like the Caribathon or things like that. But for me, I think those two is as much as I can handle in a year. I'm just not a very good readathon person. I did, however, do very well with the BookNaturalist BookClub, run by Heidi from My Reading Life and Doris from All the Books. And yes, the book club will continue, even though Doris moved to China, and they already announced the books for the next year. And it's basically one book a month. And about nature writing, a lot of nonfiction, but there's also fiction. And what I really like about this readathon, or it's not a readathon, about this project or book club, is that Heidi and Doris announce the books or the author spotlight, so you can choose a book from a certain author already way in advance. So I think for 2023, they announced it in maybe end of November or something. So I can really have a look for each month. I can plan which books do I want to read. And for this year, I'm already in 2023, as you can tell. So for this year, I did 10 out of 12. So in 10 months out of the 12 months, I actually read the book that was assigned, or I read a book by the author who was the author spotlight of that month. So I think that's pretty well done. And I really discovered nature writing through Heidi and Doris, and I'm very happy that they have this book club where I'm encouraged and to read more nature writing and also to discover authors who write about nature. Then there were two kind of book clubs that I did not do very well, and that was Invisible Cities. I will leave the channel Curious Reader and link to that channel. There are more hosts, but basically they pick 2 countries every month, and then you read books from those 2 countries. It just didn't work for me this year. I think it was also too much that I had to plan in advance. And the same, unfortunately, goes for Mel's Read Around the World book club, which I really love. But this year, I kind of fell off the wagon halfway through. So I think I read 5 of the 12 books, but I hope Mel will continue next year, and then I will try to do better, but that's a topic for a different video, because I will make a video with 2023 plans, of course. So those are the bigger projects and the, read-alongs or book clubs that I try to participate in. So a bit of a mixed bag, but yeah. And for those of you who are interested in numbers, I have to can't remember all that. So the total books I read, and that is as of today, I have still 4 books on the go, which I will most likely finish, but I'm not counting them now. So it's a 181 books, which is a good number for me. I had years that were higher. I think my top was when I was even above 200 books, but 181 is a really very good number for me. I'm not saying everybody has to read 180 books, please. If 10 books is a good number for you, then you read 10 books. You have to figure out your own. And I'm not pushing myself, to read more because I'm on BookTube or I'm on Goodreads. No, I found my number. And when I look at the average, I do this. Oh, I forgot to mention the 30 books in 30 days challenge that I always do in August. That worked out well. I did read 30 books in 30 days. I always do that in August because of the books I acquire with my birthday. And I don't want to acquire more books than I read. So I forgot to mention that was also a success. But if I deduct that, because that is an unusual month, that leaves me with about 12 books per month, 10 books per month. And that is for me an average that works naturally. So in other words, I don't have to push myself. And sometimes I'm a little below that number and sometimes I'm a bit higher. But that is, for me, the reading that I do, the variation of books that I want to read, big books, small books, that number works for me. So that's fine. I DNF 2 books, which is not much. I would say most books I finished, obviously. And for more statistics, I will write that down below also. So nonfiction, I read 59 books. I will have finished 60 books by the end of the year, so that's about a third of nonfiction. I thought, if I had to guess, I thought it would have been higher, because I think that is because so many of my highlight reads were nonfiction books. So, but it's a third. And the same goes for POC authors. That's 60 books, so also a third. And I try to be conscious about the books that I pick, but I pick books that I'm interested in, and I try to read widely. So then you naturally get also POC authors. Translated books, it's 30, so that's about 15%. That is also, I think, a reason the Invisible Cities didn't work, or I fell off that wagon, and Mel's book club, because then I would have read more translated books. The thing that I really try to start is also look at translated nonfiction, which is not that easy if you, especially for me, written by women. Okay, male authors, always around 10%, same this year. Which is a small number for most readers, but for me, it's the number that also comes naturally. And I think it's, when I was young, it was probably that I read 10-15% female authors. And now I'm very conscious trying to catch up with female authors. And that leaves 10-15% male authors. So that's quite a regular number for me. Then I also keep track of the countries that the author is from. And for me, that was 40 different countries, with the US definitely the major country, 73 books. So that's 40% were by US American authors, followed by the UK. I didn't do that well with Canada. I think I told you already, Canada and Australia didn't do that well. But the English-speaking countries in the Western Hemisphere are the big bulk of what I read. And I'm thinking of that will try to expand my reading horizon a little bit next year. German authors, I did well 1 year since I'm on BookTube when Mel and I run the Read German Books book club. But I'm just, it's the focus for me is English language literature, whether it's original or translated. And that leaves, I think it's four German language authors. And I think all of them were from Germany. Maybe one was from Switzerland, but yeah, it's 4. It's not a lot, but that's also something that probably will not change. Do I have any other? Oh yeah, rereads. I really refound my joy in rereading. So I read a good amount again for me without forcing myself, without, you have to. And it turned out I reread 16 books. So that's more than a book a month, which I was really pleased. And like I said, I refound the joy of rereading, and the books that I remember also, a lot of them were rereads. So I will certainly try to continue that one. But again, topic for another video. 2023 plans. Anyway, I think that's it. That's my recap for this year, 2022. It was a good reading year, with ups and downs and books that I didn't like. And my average, if I can trust Goodreads, my average rating is 3.5, and it has been 3.5 for years and years, which means it's a good year. I mean, 3 stars for me is a good book. It's not an excellent book. It's not a it wowed me book, but it's a good book. So if I have an average of 3.5, it was a good reading year. Anyway, recap. That was that. The next video will probably be I have to do the tops and flops, of course, of the year, and then the plans for 2023. So I'm not sure yet which one will come first, but those are the videos that I will start the new year with, because Sunday is already the 1st of January, 2023. I wish all of you a very good start of the new year and a good end of this year. Thank you very much for being my subscribers and viewers and commenters. It's heartwarming, first of all, that the channel grows, but also that people keep commenting, that people keep watching my videos. So thank you very much, all of you. I hope you enjoyed this one, the last video for 2022, and I'll see you all soon in the next year.